You, sir. Yeah. Hey, hey. Good evening. No, I'm kidding. I'm being a dork. How is everybody doing tonight? If you guys can do me a huge favor, if you're on YouTube and Facebook, if you could just put a comment and be like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" and let us know where you're watching from. That'll be awesome. And then that way we can double check and make sure that we're in the right place as well. I know David is looking for me in all the places.
Boy,
Hey, Anna.
you literally just came on YouTube.
Oh,
It's a long delay.
it is quite a bit of a delay, right? Hey, Brenda. We're going to be crafting in just a little bit if you guys want to hang out. I forgot to bring my mic for this device. So if you guys want to watch the live, because we're going to be doing some crafting, you can hop or over to YouTube and or Facebook. Either one. We'll be live in both places under Roycycled. Hey, Paula. Okay, so I see Facebook. I know it took a while for the comments to show, so I'll let you. David's looking around to find me in all the places.
You're on YouTube and you are on the Facebooks.
I am on the Facebooks.
I do not have TikTok, so I can neither confirm nor deny your existence there.
Okay.
So, much like the CIA, you may or may not be there.
He is a mess. Okay, so well, I'll talk a little bit about what we're gonna do tonight while you're doing that stuff.
Okay.
I'm excited for tonight. So last week, you guys, we talked about underpainting and your decoupage because that's all we made it to. I had overpainting on the worksheet, but I'm feeling like that's like a whole nother session the more I think about it. And so I'm probably going to end up spilling over into July with our lessons. And so I'll make another worksheet for overpainting and decoupage. But if you are a Roycycled insider, you should have received your worksheet for this week. Mine are boring in black and white because my color printer died and I bought a new one. But have I hooked it up yet? No, I have not. So mine's black and white, but it's transfers and decoupage paper is the worksheet for this week, and that's what we're going to be going over tonight. If you are on Facebook and you are not a retailer, you can put hashtag insider, in the comments to become you'll get information on how to become a Roycycled insider. If you are on TikTok and you're interested in being an insider so that you can get all the extra goodies, you can check out the link in my bio. And my YouTube people, I will put something in the comment section and pin it after we're done tonight, if you're not already an insider. But let's say hi to everybody before we get into the nitty gritty.
All right, on YouTube we have Susan Steinberg Prentice, Jan Oliver, Joanne is Soul 60s 3. Does that mean you are a DJ? She's in Rhode Island. Patsy Lewis, Soul 60s. You know.
Oh, okay.
That sounds very DJ-y. Patsy Lewis, Kim Fosnaw, first time on a live show. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Marsha Wall says happy Sunday to everyone, and Vicki Moore. Over on Facebook, we have Dorothy Altimus in Maryland, Paula Takagi in Tucson, Jeannie Scott Oliver, Dolly Smith says, goodness, it took a while. Does that mean it took a while for Dolly to come back, or I'm not sure?
I think for us to come on.
Well, we had that few couple of weeks where we were fuzzy there.
Yes.
Technology was not our friend.
No.
Dawn Perry Headley from Pennsylvania, Alyssa Bricker Visithin, Sandy Petrelli, Kim Comaw, Rita Garber Grain, Stephanie Young Davis, Shane Sellers from southeastern Mississippi, Becky Heron, Lisa Vansil, thank you for the happy Father's Day, Denise Koviak Leonard from northern Michigan, Sandy Petrelli is also in Maryland, Connie Pop in Florida, Johnny Ray or Joni Ray, I'm not sure which one, from Indiana, Dawn Perry Headley, thank you, Shane Sellers, Tommy Quiroz, I think I got that right.
He does,
Paula
probably.
Takagi does Insider. Good job. Pamela Culp. Oh my goodness, I got to take a drink.
I
Sorry.
know.
Excuse me. Pamela Culp, Adair, Shannon Armstrong from Michigan, Sherry Ben Hart from Iowa, Debbie Diggs, Chris Schmidt, Maureen Peterson from Ocala, Florida, says Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Peggy Otto Finnegan, Jane Neese, NEAS from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I like me some Fond du Lac. Anna Pierce, Yolanda Jones, Barbara Zwisler, Garrels. I want to say Jonathan Brandmeier is from Fond du Lac, but we used to go up there a lot when we would go up to Lake Geneva.
Oh.
There was one I wanted to grab here, and I got to find it. I kind of skipped over it because I figured we could jump in. Oh, there it is. Jeannie Scott Oliver asks, which outfit did you choose for your presentation?
I don't know yet, girl. I bought all of them. I bought all of them. I didn't buy the green one though, because that jacket was a little too small. But I bought all of them. I love the white pants, but we have to be there from 9 to 5, and I just feel like there's a lot of opportunity for something to go wrong between 9 o'clock that morning and when the presentations start at 3 o'clock. Even though I love those white pants, we'll see what happens.
Well, you're getting some black ones too.
Yeah, the black ones are coming in the mail because they didn't have my size.
Yeah, hopefully
there.
they come before.
Yeah, if the black pants come before, I'll probably, because I feel like that outfit with the white pants and that one black top are kind of like retro a little bit, in a good way. I like it.
Okay.
Baby's like, whatever. My poor husband, he was so patient, y'all. He sat in the husband's seat right outside the dressing room while I took forever deciding what I was going to wear. But let's get to the fun stuff. So tonight, it's all about transfers and decoupage paper. So I have the worksheet here. I'm going to try to stay focused, y'all, but y'all know how I am. We'll see what happens. So let me put you guys down to the work table. Hello, Paris. We are working on decoupage paper and transfers tonight. So for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be more process focused than project focused, even though we're working on multiple projects that we will be giving away as we finish them, right? So tonight we're working on, I should have put this one, put number 2 first. I sent you guys tips. The first one was make sure, well, you don't have to seal your paper first, right? So when you're layering transfers over the top of your decoupage paper, you don't have to seal your paper first. You can do a transfer, but I will tell you that the transfer will adhere more readily if your paper is already sealed. But you also want to make sure that your surface is actually really, really dry as well. And so on number 2, I have on there, if you start, applying your transfer and your surface is not dry, what will happen is as you pull your transfer up, it'll start to pull your surface up, whether it's decoupage paper or paint, either one. So I wanted to demonstrate that tonight. So we're actually going to start off with a little quick decoupage. And then we're going to move on and we're going to end up coming back to this, because if that happens to you, let's say you're decoupaging, right? And your surface is coming up every time you try to lift up your transfer, it's because there's still moisture in there. But if you just leave it on there, walk away. I'm always telling y'all to walk away, huh? Walk away and leave it on there. I promise that if you come back in a couple of hours after your surface is dry, you will be able to continue applying that transfer. Your project is not ruined. So I want to demo that, because the next few weeks are all about demos during our lives on Sunday. So I want to do a quick decoupage. And this is Roycycled's hardware decoupage paper that I'm using right here. I changed my mind. I was going to use the top half, but then I thought I kind of like this circle right here being on here. And so I think I'm going to use this one, because then we can put a cool transfer inside of that circle.
Lisa Vancil on the white pants says, you do not want a high C moment.
Right? Or coffee, a smudge. I mean, it could be anything. And I mean, I am not like horribly, usually
You're
I
not
wouldn't,
clumsy.
no, I'm not clumsy. And honestly, usually I wouldn't necessarily care if something like that happened. But I'm going to be standing in front of a panel of judges for an opportunity, a big opportunity, and I'm going to be nervous. And so I don't want to be thinking about anything else. Like, I don't want to be preoccupied with the stain on my pants or anything else like that. I don't think I like that circle in the middle. I'm not going to use that one.
Dolly Smith says everyone is snagged onto your clipboard idea. Did you know that?
I don't know if it's my idea, but sure. I think it's a cool project. And this time of year, I'm gonna tell y'all, a lot of my friends are teachers and the kids are graduating. Y'all give y'all teachers something. Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, our kids, when they go to school, they are different children. And even if you think you have an angel, they done something to drive their teacher crazy all year. So give your teachers an appreciation gift. And I also wanted to use this paper because I think it's going to be a really good demonstration of what we talked about last week, when we talked about underpainting. A lot of times people will ask me if you have to paint white, and you don't have to. But even under the dark designs, you generally have light details. And so if your paper is white underneath, those light details are going to pop more if you have a light paper or a light color underneath. So I'm just going to do a quick decoupage of this, and then we're going to end up setting it aside because we're going to try to transfer before it dries completely, so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. And so I want to have enough time to set aside for it to dry while we do everything else. This is my pot from last week, you guys. I just covered it with some saran wrap so that I would not waste the clear coat that I already had in here. And I am using Wise Owl's 1 Hour Enamel. It is my favorite decoupage medium to use, especially when I'm going to be layering transfers over my decoupage paper. Transfers really like smooth surfaces, and I think because the 1 Hour Enamel is self-leveling, that the transfers really adhere to it readily, because it's self-leveling, and so you're like basically putting the transfer on a smooth surface. So I'm misting my paper first, and I'm going to stretch it out, right? When those paper fibers get full of water, they start swelling and your paper starts stretching. So we're going to do all that business ahead of time so that when I put my decoupage medium on there, I don't have to worry about my paper responding, and I'm going to get a perfect decoupage surface. And one thing I forgot to say last week, and baby, you usually remind me, is we more than likely have some Roycycled retailers on tonight. So if we have customers and you guys do not have a retailer yet, you may meet somebody tonight. So if any Roycycled retailers are watching, please drop the links to your websites where customers can find the paper. My board says, ha! I'm just kidding. I'm being a dork.
Leanne Ziegel, I always feel like I'm tempting fate when I wear white.
Right?
Lisa Van Sills, praying for you to be successful in your presentation.
Thank you.
Cece's Good says the first time we met, we went junking for clipboards. And Brenda Wood said, I bought one of your clipboards a few years back at Thieves Market in Tempe at the old Big Sur.
Oh, wow. That was a while ago. We had the most fun at that show. That's back in the day when I used to do pop-ups. And I still enjoy, my favorite part are meeting everybody though. Not the packing up and setting up and breaking down.
Yeah.
But being able to meet with everybody, you know, is always my favorite part.
So that leads me to ask a question.
Yes.
So we've been wandering this weekend, hitherto and yon.
I know my husband's dragged me all over the state this weekend.
So, and I do have an embarrassing story about that too.
Oh Lord, what?
Well, I'm going to embarrass both of us, so don't you worry about it.
Don't worry, he's just going to embarrass both of us. Why would I worry?
All right,
about
I'll
that?
lead with that. So we were out driving yesterday, and we were someplace very popular and looking for parking. Found a spot.
Oh yes.
Had to parallel park.
David is the king of parallel parking. Yes.
I may not be good at much of anything, with the exception of parallel parking. I don't know why, but I can really do it well. And just to show how much of an egomaniac I am, as I pulled in, I went to the only person in the car. I just want it known by everyone. I'm great at parallel parking.
You are great at parallel parking. Baby.
Now, here's why I don't mind it anymore. I was embarrassed when it came out of my mouth. We wanted to take a different way home because we wanted to explore. So we're like, okay, well, how do we get to the highway? And Royce is going, oh, I think we go this way, and I'm pretty sure we go up here. And we couldn't get a GPS signal, which I was
weird.
blown away by, that
Right?
in America, there are places you cannot get a GPS signal.
Oh, baby, we were pretty rural, though.
Oh, my goodness. So eventually we got one, and it said, go the way you were telling us. And immediately, to the only person in the car, I want everybody to know I know directions.
That I'm usually not good at directions. I was very proud of myself that I remembered which way we were supposed to go.
So I just wanted to share that. And I wouldn't have brought up mine because it was just me being an idiot if you didn't do the exact same thing on the way home. I just found that funny. Okay, my question. So we were talking about this when we were in the car. So last summer, Royce held a retreat for retailers.
Yes.
And by all accounts, it went well.
Yes. I think all the
you
retailers
were
had a
happy.
good time.
The feedback
Yes.
you've gotten from people that sell your paper was, I think, overwhelmingly positive.
Yes.
I've not heard of any negative feedback. Let's put it
Just
that
the
way.
bads because we stayed in the dorms. But
Oh,
other
yeah,
than
well,
that,
yeah.
you know.
And I don't think the dorms were that particularly happy, too, because someone might have sneaked some alcohol
Why you gotta say it all out loud?
into a dry campus and then left it there. The sneaking, I don't mind. I'm okay with the sneaking.
I never actually admitted to that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
You messing with me over
I didn't
here.
say you did it. I said someone might have.
Okay. Really quickly, baby, you can finish telling the story.
Okay.
But I'm using Iron Orchid Designs Redoute. That's what Dorothy's husband, who's French, says that's how you pronounce it, is Redoute, to transfer. This is what, like I always say this is one of my favorites because you get so much. You get 8 pages of roses and roses and roses. And so I'm going to be using this on top of this hardware decoupage paper. Okay, carry on, baby.
Okay. So this year's been a travel year. You've already gone 2 places. I think you have 2 more scheduled.
I do. Well, 3 counting Vegas.
Yeah, we're going to go to
market.
to a business. Yeah, market. I couldn't think of the word. So at least three more trips scheduled for this year.
Yes.
So we're talking about next year, and you said you think you want to do another retreat.
I'm going to do another retreat.
Okay.
I'm like committed to that. It's just a matter of, and this one's going to be for everybody.
So you want to do one for retailers because it's important that the people that sell your product have
Yes.
time with you to talk about the product and what's working, what isn't, what do they need,
Yes.
what can you get them, that sort of thing. Every business does that. It's the right way to do business. But you also want to do one for people who aren't retailers, folks that just watch us on Sunday night and say,
Yes.
us, watch
They
you
say
on Sunday night.
They want
and
to
just
come
say,
hang out with those crazy
yeah,
people.
let's just have fun and let's craft. My suggestion was the retailers come here to Safford, as you did last time, because there isn't a large volume that comes.
Baby, we can't do 2 different locations. Like, that's off the table.
So, and then I suggested that everybody else we'd set up in a major city like Tucson. Well, Tucson's not a major city, but it's bigger than Safford.
It's bigger than Safford. Everything's bigger than Safford.
Or Phoenix, because people can get a flight directly into those communities. You said, no, I think I'd like to have everything here where we live in Safford.
Yes.
So I'm curious, A, would you guys be interested in coming to a 3-day retreat I don't know how many days you want to do, 2 or 3,
Yes.
4.
We'll probably do a total of 5 days. The first two will be retailers only.
Right, because
And
they need
then,
business stuff.
yes.
Right.
And then 3 days for like everybody.
Okay. So, A, would you guys be interested in a 3-day retreat? Because the retailers, you'll talk to them,
Yes.
later. And B, would you rather fly indirectly to wherever it is, or would you like to come to Royce's home base, Safford,
I think
Safford,
you guys
Arizona?
should come here so I can show off my community.
But it's important to note, if you fly into Phoenix, you could probably get a direct flight to Phoenix.
Yes.
It's about a 3-hour drive from Phoenix to here. If you fly into Tucson, likely you're going to have a layover somewhere, and you're going to have to drive about 2 to 2.5 hours to here.
Yes.
So I guess you could fly into El Paso too, but that's
Oh,
that's a
no.
3.5-hour drive
No,
here.
nobody wants to do that.
But I mean, you could. I'm
You
just
could.
saying. If you get a direct flight to El Paso and it's cheaper, and then you want to drive 3.5 hours to us, you could do that.
Really quickly, babe.
So
'Cause I don't
that's
want
all.
this
I
to
just
dry.
want people's input. Now,
Well,
now.
we have to finish telling all of it. You left out some stuff.
Oh, what did I leave out?
I'm gonna add it in just a second.
All right.
So I just want to show them because I decoupaged this really quickly, and I dried the top just to touch, but it's not all the way dry. So when I try to pull this transfer up, it's pulling up my paper. I'm gonna try to show you guys right here to see if you guys can see that. See that my paper is coming up with the transfer. So I want you guys to just see that I'm not like a trickster. So it's not completely dry, and that's why that happened. So if you've had that happen when you try to layer, it's probably because there's moisture underneath, right? And your project isn't all the way dry. So I'm gonna set this to the side, and we're gonna circle back to this at the end of tonight. And I wanted to do this, and again, I have like structured these next few weeks. A lot of it is based on questions that I've gotten via email and or messenger from customers. So if you have a project and you're putting a transfer on it, even if it's dry to touch, there may still be moisture underneath, especially if you're working with a porous surface like wood, because the wood is going to absorb some of that moisture, right? And so one of the ways you can tell is if you touch it and it's still cool to the touch, chances are there's still moisture trapped underneath, even though the surface feels dry. And so just set it aside and leave it be, because when everything completely dries, you'll still be able to transfer successfully. So I'm gonna set this aside. Okay. So where were you at, giving your skewed side of the story?
No, not my.
Oh, it was skewed. That was not objective at all.
I want to make it as easy for folks as possible.
So this is the way I feel about it. A, if I can host it here in my community, I'm going to be able to offer more affordable pricing. Because my husband and I are both really active in the community. We have a lot of relationships, and I feel like I can add a lot more value here than if I go to the city where I have to pay for every little thing.
Yes, which is true.
Yes. And B, I want my people to come see where I live. And like, I feel like it's going to be more intimate if they come here in my whiny voice.
It will be. It certainly would be more intimate. We're a smaller community.
Yes.
So it absolutely would. There's an anonymity
Yes.
to a big city, but there's also, you could get lost.
Yes.
And that's with people. I mean, you can just feel lost, I guess.
Yes. And I forgot my razor blade. I'm just going to take my scissors, you guys. I meant to bring my razor blade in. If you have like an X-Acto knife, it's a better option than scissors. But I waited until my paper was completely dry before I trimmed off this portion at the top. Because if you try to do it when your paper is still damp, your paper is more likely to tear. You're more likely to get a nice clean cut if you're using a really like sharp knife, unlike these scissors or a razor blade, and if your paper is dry.
All right, so let's get a little bit of
We'll get feedback
responses.
So the question was, what do you guys think? I guess is the question.
Yeah, would you rather, excuse me, I'm going to have to, hold on, I got to mute my mic. Sorry about that. Would you rather have to take a flight in and then, like the retailers, some of them carpooled,
Yeah, everybody carpooled, I think,
everybody
last year.
carpooled. So, I
Yeah.
mean, you could do that. We could coordinate that
Yes.
for people and then come to Safford, or would you rather it just fly directly into a community and
And
then
be
you're
at
there?
a motel with strangers.
All right, let's see. Gwen Henderson failed my first driver's test because I was 1 inch too far from the curb. I still hate it. Shane Sellers failed her first driver's test because she was too close to the curb and hit it. Parallel parking. It's my one superpower. Sherry Benhart, the retreat was the best I've ever attended.
Thank you, Miss Sherry.
Gwen Henderson, a retreat would be nice and fun. Cece's good, yes, for everyone, and it's close by. Lisa Vansil, can we get a possible price so we could save in advance? Well, this is going to
Yes.
dictate that price.
So yeah, the price is gonna. I mean, where I have it is gonna dictate the price. Absolutely, we'll have prices well in advance for you guys. We're talking about 2024, so we're in the planning stages now, but we'll have more information as we move forward.
Deborah Cardle, wintertime, vacation to the south? Nope. Summer in Arizona. But you're inside, and you do some outside stuff, but it's always in the morning when it's cooler.
Well, last year we did August because we were staying in the dorms at the college.
Right.
This year we won't be tied to that because we're not doing that.
Okay.
So
Good. All right.
I don't
But
even
it worked
know.
out. I don't think anybody was overwhelmed by the heat.
No, we
Yeah.
actually hung out on Main Street all of one morning.
Yeah. Gwen Henderson, Arizona would be nice. Yes, thank you. CC says yes to Safford. Kim Comp Rogers says happy Fathers Day to David. Thank you. That is right.
Happy Fat Hers Day.
Yeah, she just,
Not the Mama Day.
yeah. Gwen Henderson, Safford is good. Shane Sellers, never been to Arizona, possibly carpooling. Yes. Angie Champagne would be interested in Tucson. So Deborah Cardle says yes to the community. Jean Scott Oliver says home base, that's part of the charm of the retreat.
Right?
Let's see. Deborah Cardle asked, would there be a meeting for retailers interested in possibly selling your product?
Oh, that's a very good question.
That could be
I'm
part
going
of
to put
it.
that on my list. Really
Kim?
quick, baby.
Yes.
I'm just going to say something really quickly. I hate to do stuff and not tell them what I'm doing. So this is one of the new transfers from Iron Orchid Designs. It's called Elysium. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Elysium?
Elysium? Okay. All I know is it's gorgeous. So I thought this transfer would be perfect for the really pretty, colorful board. And so now you guys saw an unsuccessful transfer that I just demonstrated. So now we're going to show a successful transfer. This board we decoupaged last week, so I know it's completely dry and I already sealed it. So this one is good to go. So now I just have to figure out what part of the transfer I want to put on here.
Now-
Okay, carry on, baby.
Now I have to ask which poet, somebody on here will know, which poet coined the phrase the Elysium Fields, which I believe is a part of the land of the dead, but a nice part of the land of the dead. You know, I'm going off to the Elysium Fields. I don't remember which poet though. Let's see. Kim Rogers, I would come to Arizona. Tommy Carose, I would love to go to a retreat. Would love to see Safford. CC's goods. Let's camp out. Not if it's in the summer.
Oh, Lord. No, we don't want to camp out.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
Doris Rushing wants to see all your stashes.
Oh,
Hey,
Lord.
we could do a garage sale at the storage facilities.
Oh,
Just saying.
Lord. No, baby, that would be too much.
I would recommend everybody bring trucks. Alyssa Visithin, how far is the nearest airport? I mean, technically,
It's 2 hours to Tucson would be the
if you
nearest
could get a
airport.
private jet, you could fly right into our community.
Yeah, you
but,
can get a private jet. You can get a private
They are
jet.
talking about, they're in
I know.
negotiating
They're negotiating.
negotiating for flights between here and Phoenix.
Yes.
So you could take a connecting flight here, and we could do pickups at the airport, because everybody would be coming in on the same flights.
Yes.
So, Let's see.
I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do, you guys. That would be really pretty. I want
Jim
these.
Visithin, recent listener, first time watcher, watching while my wife is away. She got me hooked on YouTube.
That's funny. No,
Kim
I'm kidding.
Rogers, is there a motel here? Yes.
Yes.
We, in fact, know what the host hotel would be because we've used them before, both for my event and yours.
Yes.
They're great. And in fact, they just bought another hotel here and are remodeling.
And they're right across, well, it's across the highway, but it's like 2 minutes from the venue where I want to host the event. So you guys would be super close.
Yeah, that part would be great. The motel would be bang right there.
Yeah.
Stacy Lampros, sounds like transportation from Phoenix could add to the costs for those attend car rental. Many people would not be able to share transportation from the big airport. Last time they did, there was a lot of carpooling.
Because what would happen, and what I did and what I'll do again this time, is I created a private Facebook group for everyone who was registered. And so that's where the conversations were held. Like, I'm flying at this time, I'm flying in here, I'm flying in there. And so I don't know that anybody drove by themselves when it was all said and done.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. So I think everybody was able to carpool.
Did Tammy from Tucson Youngsters?
Well,
bring
no,
people?
because they picked up people at the airport
They
because
did.
they live
Okay.
in Tucson.
That's what I'm asking. So, let's see. Cece's Good says not summer. Honestly,
What? You don't want to come to Arizona in the summer?
Rachel Stratton Malay is the poet. Thank you. I knew one of you would know it. Let's see. Rita Garber
Ooh,
Grain,
this
whatever's
is gonna be
cheapest.
pretty.
That's, hey, we talked about that. That's the Royce brand, is to make things accessible.
Accessible.
So-
I really do think that I can build something really, really nice here that I don't know that I'd be able to build in the city and keep it.
You know, realistically, our dollar goes a lot farther here.
Yes. And even with the car rental, I still don't think it evens out. You know what I mean? Because seriously, we're going to be able to negotiate a lot more here.
Shy C loves your hair.
Thank you, Shy.
Kim Comp Rogers, how far are you from Scottsdale? Would want to visit friends there, and then to Patagonia.
I think Scottsdale's like 3 hours, and Patagonia is actually, so we're in the middle, right? Because Patagonia is like going to
I've never
Tucson.
been. I see the turnoff for Patagonia,
Yeah,
but I've never been.
but I mean, so Scottsdale and Patagonia are on either sides of us. You know what I'm saying? Like if she wanted to go to one,
Yeah.
she'd have to go to south to go to one, and then
If
north.
you fly into Phoenix, you're right there at Scottsdale.
Yeah, you're right there. So you could fly in early, visit friends in Scottsdale, drive to Safford, and then drive to Patagonia.
Or bring your friends.
Yeah.
Bring your friends to Safford. Thank you, Paula Takagi. Edna St. Vincent Millay was the poet. Let's see. Shy C, I'm riding my bike from Camp Verde.
That'd be a long ride. Shy.
See, now Angie Champagne's got the right idea. Sounds like an opportunity for a party limo bus trip.
Right?
Angie, see, with a name like Angie Champagne, she knows. Jenny Marmion, what's closer, Tucson or Phoenix? Tucson's closer, but it's rare to get a direct flight into Tucson. So you might want to fly into Phoenix if you don't want a layover.
You guys see how easy that was? Sorry. Isn't that pretty? Sorry. I'm way too excited. I think we should be able to raffle this. Not raffle, but I don't think, what do you guys think? Should I put anything else on this one? We might be able to do like a raised stencil. We won't do a giveaway yet. But I put the transfer on, and you guys saw how I took my transfer paper and I just kind of went over, and all I'm doing is just making sure that there's good contact between the transfer and the surface. And with IOD transfers, you really don't have to deal with the transfers like lifting and cracking once you adhere them, as long as they're not responding to whatever your clear coat is. I think Gator High interacts with the transfers, but as long as, you know, that's not the issue, you won't have any issues with it relifting. And so I'm going to go ahead and seal over this so that when we get to the stencils part, we can actually put, I think, an erased stencil or maybe not a raised stencil, because then you can't use your clipboard.
All right. I don't
But
want to
a pretty
ignore.
stencil.
I'm sorry. I don't
No,
want to
you can go
ignore our
ahead.
YouTubers. Let's see. Luann Vassallo says in Safford, what time of year? Becky Het says, I would drive to Safford from South Maricopa. She's looking to
Oh,
be a
she's right
retailer
there.
by then. But Luann says no Arizona in summer. She won't even visit family in the summer. um, so I understand.
I don't know when it's going to be. It really just depends.
It's not like you do an outdoor activity.
No.
So
We're inside in the air conditioning the whole
yeah,
time.
I mean, I understand people that don't like the extreme heat of Arizona. I appreciate
And
that.
I do want to point out that a lot of people experience Phoenix. And so they have a very specific experience with the heat. Here in the valley, because we're at the foot of a mountain. So we're typically not as hot as Phoenix.
We're not as hot, no.
Not
So
even like, I mean,
we're over here in the Sonoran Desert. No, we're on the cusp of two deserts.
Yeah.
Sonora and one other. I forget which one.
what's the name of the cactus?
Saguaro.
The Saguaro Desert and the Sonoran
Okay.
Desert.
So
Yes.
we're just a little bit cooler. Cooler is a misnomer.
Yeah.
But we're a few degrees
We're
cooler.
hot, but it's not like, because Phoenix is hot, and then they have all that concrete there too.
Concrete
So
and the
it's-
buildings just it
yes.
bounces around.
It is. I don't. And here, when the sun goes down, it actually cools
Yeah,
down.
it kind of lays on you, and then you got all the traffic generating heat.
Yeah.
It's weird. I lived in Havasu, which is the hottest part of Arizona, but that's on the Mojave Desert, which is a totally different desert, and that's a rough heat. It's
Yes, it is.
that one. That's a rough one. we're hot, but we're not as hot.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you guys think?
yeah, Shane Sellers, rent a party bus to bring everyone from the airport to Safford. Heck, I would look into it. I'd be happy to if we could get like 20 people on a party bus.
We had a party bus here, but I don't know.
We could. Well,
Since-
somebody's on the Chamber of Commerce board now. They could find out.
I know.
I wonder who is on there.
I wonder who is on there. I know. I've decided to leave the house, you guys, and get back involved. So I want to go over our sheet really quickly, and then you can carry on, baby.
All right.
I don't want to discourage you because I don't like when you get quiet. So we talked about sealing your paper and how easy it makes to transfer, right? And hopefully you guys saw how easy that transferred. Super easy on top of the paper. I think we demonstrated the importance of making sure that your surface is dry, because if not, it'll lift up your paper. And even if you try to transfer on a paint surface that's not fully dry, you'll have the same experience with your paint. So if you're working with transfers and that happens, there's probably moisture underneath. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I've learned that people don't often hear things the first time you say it.
Oh, can I ask everybody share?
Yes, please
Share, like it if you're on YouTube. It just helps.
It really does.
You know. Let's see. Who was it? Barbara Garrels, Elysium Fields are the final resting place of Greek mythological heroes. So it is the Greek Valhalla. I knew it was a land of the dead, but thank you, Barbara. Gwen Henderson, stay where you are. Exploring new areas are great. Sherry Benhart says Tucson. Let's see. Rita Garber Grain, everyone needs to come to Vegas. We're going, so Rita,
I know
we
we're going
need
to be
hook up.
in Vegas the end of July, beginning of August.
So yes, we will be there. Rita, let's figure something out. Maybe we could do a special craft.
Ooh, maybe.
That would be fun. Everybody loves Angie's idea. I'm with Angie.
With the party bus?
Party bus.
We're all in on the party bus.
Although I can't see anybody liking the party bus on the way back. Lots of headaches.
Well, we're not going to be partying.
Anyway, you're going to have that craft hangover.
The craft? No, you're going to have the craft high, baby. When you craft, there's no hangover.
I
It's
don't
a
know. We
craft
had a
high.
food hangover yesterday.
We did. I ate
We
way
didn't
too
drink
much.
anything, and we were walking around like we were drunk.
I did feel drunk.
We were over full. It was good.
It was really good.
Let's see. Dolly Smith, when I saw you cut that off the large transfer, I thought, ew. Then when you put it on there, it's perfect. So
yeah.
good eye.
So even with the larger transfers, you don't have to have a big project for them. You can trim them any way that makes sense for you and what you're working on.
Yeah, everybody kind of likes it as is. So,
Oh, this one?
yeah.
I shouldn't do a stencil right here or anything. Because I can see like a gold stencil right here for some reason. Something ornate and pretty. I don't know.
Sonia Hansen, 65 years ago or so, we were going to Patagonia, had to drive across the border, then drive from Mexico into Patagonia. I suspect that has probably changed by now. Yes, you can get straight into Patagonia.
Yes.
So it's actually pretty easy. You take the 11 down, and
I know there's a turn off of the 10. I know
yeah,
that.
it really is not hard. And you can go from us to Patagonia and then from Patagonia to Scottsdale.
Yeah.
It's a long trip, but you could do it.
I'm trying to find which transfer I want to use on this one because this one is a darker paper. So our next thing we talked about, that transfers are opaque. So that means that they're not see-through at all. So they work beautifully over dark decoupage paper. So you can use beautiful flowers over a hardware. So like this one, you guys will notice I chose red flowers to put over the hardware paper, right? So it's really industrial, but the red flowers do look really pretty over it. But we have to wait for it to dry before we can finish doing that transfer. So
Andy Champagne calling you out. Nice sugar coat. We see you glisten weekly, Royce.
that's because I'm running around.
Although
Today I did not take a nap, so.
Jenny Marmion said was in Scottsdale last week, wasn't bad at all, much better than Midwest humidity, which is 100% true.
It's a dry heat, and people laugh when we say that, but it absolutely makes a difference.
Look, if you're out in the heat all day, it's going to wear on you. It's going to take you out. If you're out there for an hour or two,
it's going to take you out.
It will. An hour or two. An hour's rough.
Yes.
But you're not out there
No.
for an hour.
You get out your car, get
Yeah.
in your car, go in the building, come out the building.
Dolly Smith, if you like the shops, walk around, it could be uncomfortable. No, you go first thing in the morning. It's not bad. You could walk the whole thing. And by the time it really starts to get warm, you're done.
Yeah.
So,
And so you just have to be cognizant of what time you're out and about is all.
yeah. Yeah, Anna Pierce, we're not humid like South Georgia. Not at
Oh.
all. Brenda Wood, that's how it is up by Prescott. Not as hot as Phoenix. Cools down at night.
Yes, it makes a big difference. And I think for a lot of people, their experience is Phoenix, or you're more likely to hear about temperatures on your local news, the Phoenix temperatures. You know what I'm saying? So you're hearing like 120, 121. Now, I'm not saying it never gets that hot here because we've had like unprecedented summers where it was really hot.
Oh, yeah.
But for the most part, it's about 102, 100, which I know sounds like a lot, but it's a dry heat. And at night when the sun goes down, there's a dramatic change in temperature. Because we're in the desert, so there's nothing to hold the temperature. Well, in the city, all that concrete holds the temperature. But
Yep.
out here in the rural areas,
It's not as bad.
it dissipates pretty quickly because we're in the desert and we don't have a ton of atmosphere.
Sonia Hansen, depends on where you are in Arizona. There are
Yep.
some gorgeous mountain retreats. We have a mountain in our backyard,
We do, Mount Graham.
and it is exceptionally popular around here. Not as much around the state. I think the rest of the state doesn't realize what we have. Heck, we got a lake up there.
I know. I saw people were there this weekend for Father's Day going fishing. I asked my honey what he wanted to do today. He didn't want to do nothing. So that's what we did. We did nothing today.
Oh, we'll go out to dinner.
Although no, we don't have to go out to dinner, baby. I am fine.
No, we'll go out. You're too fly to stay in. I've
I'm
learned
too-
that.
No, because and we traveled this weekend too. So I'm gonna use this transfer. I think you guys. I love mixing like masculine and feminine, or like industrial with flowers. I just think it adds so much interest.
Oh, no. Okay, I got to say this. Luan Vassallo, thank you so much. We love that you did this. Don't pay for chats. She did a super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
But
you
don't
so
have
much.
to.
We appreciate that, but please don't do that. We don't want you to spend money on this tonight. This
Yeah.
is just for fun. We have a good time. We talk, we laugh.
And
You
we're gonna
learn,
read your comment, girl.
and it literally just says $4.99. That's the comment. Thank you. But she does say, yeah, no to Arizona in the summer. So I
She
think
wanted to make sure you read that.
she's paying to say,
Yes.
hey, spring, fall, maybe, okay. Spring and fall here is beautiful.
It really is.
It is. So since you're not tied to the college, maybe spring or fall is the way to go.
Yeah.
Vicki Moore does say, think it needs a hint of gold. Patsy,
Huh?
she said, I think it needs a hint of gold.
Yeah, right? I think the gold would be pretty.
Cake Supply Lady, all I know about Arizona is heat, cactus, and scorpions.
I'm not going to say that those things do not exist, but I will say there's a lot more to Arizona than just those things.
I did not encounter a scorpion in my first, no, I take that back. I encountered one in my first 20 years here. Actually, it was my son got up to use the restroom and then called me, and I walked into the bathroom, and there's a scorpion on the floor in front of him. He had, by the way, he had already done his business and was getting ready to go back to bed. And so I took care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was when I got stung here.
Oh, yeah.
Little guy got me on my finger. That's been my only 2 encounters with scorpion. I did have a rattlesnake crawl over my foot once.
Oh, Lord.
So
Where were you?
I was a sports writer, and I was covering a marathon. And all that pounding will bring a snake out even in the summer. Because summer they just want to cool.
Yeah.
They don't want to be active. And this, I guess all the pounding just brought the snake out. So I just stood still, and he just went past me, went over my foot. I looked down. It's like, okay, I'm not doing anything.
He would have got me because I'd have been, oh, Lord.
Nope. And then just continued on where he needed to go. And that's really been my only encounter with a snake.
With snakes here.
Other than seeing them in the road when they're sunning themselves. Like we
Okay.
almost hit one yesterday.
Yeah.
Um,
So really quickly, baby.
yeah.
I know you guys are watching me like, what on earth is she doing? So the transfers all come to piece together a specific way, but you guys know us crafters, right? More often than not, we're trying to get them to do something that we want. I want to get all these pieces on my clipboard. So like this piece was too tall, but I can cheat. I can cut this stem down, and then I can just match them up right here, and you won't know the difference at all. And then depending on how balanced it looks to me when I put it down, I may add this guy, but I don't know. I think when I clipped this, I solved my problem. And so I may not need this one, but we're gonna see. So just because your transfers come a certain way doesn't mean that that's how you have to use them. So.
Maureen Peterson, same thing here in Florida. It's hot and humid. Excuse me. Aaron Day is best planned for the morning. All the blacktop
Yes.
and cement holds the heat. It's 100% true. Susan Boehner, Whitmore Glazer, it's been both hot and humid here in Texas. When I first moved from Florida, I laughed when they complained about the humidity. But I've been here long enough to feel it. Well, Florida's so humid.
Yes. Well, when we had the retreat, I was like, it's humid, you guys, because it's monsoon season and so it's raining. But Serena and Michelle Adamus are from Florida and Virginia, and they're like, it's so dry here. And I'm just looking at them like,
Yeah.
it was humid to us, but to them it was dry.
Shane Sellers, I pulled 50 ears of corn earlier.
Oh my
By the time I
gosh.
finished, my clothes were soaking wet due to the humidity. She's in the south. Now she's trying to shuck corn while watching you.
Oh, fresh
Excuse
corn.
me, I apologize
oh
for
my
the
gosh,
coughing.
That sounds so good. You know what? Is it time for green corn tamales right now? I thought that was fall. Sorry, I'm getting excited, you guys. All it takes is good food to make me excited.
That's okay. Gwen Henderson, did you have to go to the hospital for the scorpion sting? No, scorpions are tiny, and their sting
Yeah.
stings,
Unless you're allergic,
right.
generally you don't have to go to the hospital.
Right. It, like a bee. If I'm allergic, you have
Yes.
to. They burn. They leave
Yes.
a burning sensation. But no, you take some Benadryl and you're good.
I want to show you guys something. I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer for this demo. I'm
Maureen,
sorry for my
I
people
have
on
to do this.
TikTok.
Maureen Peterson, no, no, no to snakes.
I'm with you.
I don't like them either. How do you take care of a scorpion? Oh, I didn't want to freak my son out because he was still young and I didn't want him to panic.
You smushed it. Just say it.
So, no. All right, here's what I did. Grab the plunger, put the plunger over the scorpion,
Oh.
slid something under him. I said, no problem, we'll just take him out to the yard. He went back to bed. I took him out to the yard and crushed him beneath my boot heel.
You got to go.
Out in the world, I leave animals alone. I don't care if they're insects. I don't care if they're snakes. I don't like snakes. I leave them alone. That's their home. In my house, you got to die.
Go.
You die. And I want it painful so that your spirit tells all the others,
Not to come.
don't come in this house.
I want to show you guys something. I don't know if you guys have ever heard. I know all of the retailers for IOD know this, but when you have a larger plane, like you guys see how this is all connected, what I'm about to show you wouldn't work over here because I have a lot of tiny pieces that are separated. But if you have a large transfer and you want to do it fast, you can use what we call the wave. And so what you do is you push your paper so that you make a wave right here, and it will force the transfer to pop off of the paper a lot faster. You guys see how it's, oh, let me pull you in closer. You guys see how it's pale right here and it's really red? When you see that color change, it's because it's separating from your backing paper. So you can see how quickly that's coming off of there. So the wave can help you transfer your paper a lot faster. There are pros and cons. Even though it comes off faster, you do want to move a little slower because you're more likely to reposition your stencil. You know what I mean? I mean, not your stencil, your transfer, and have it adhere where you don't want it. So you don't want to go super fast because you might shift it and it may not be lined up with the rest of your transfer. But it is a way for you to transfer a lot quicker, like a lot quicker. You guys see that? As opposed to rubbing. And if you use the wave, you really want to make sure that you take your transfer paper and go over it to make sure that it has good contact with your surface. Because you're not rubbing it on, you're essentially popping it off the paper as opposed to rubbing it on your surface. So you really want to make sure it's adhered well if you use that method. But it is a way for you to transfer a lot faster.
Let's see, Becky Het. I was sitting on the toilet. On the cabinet directly across was a freaking tarantula.
Oh.
Scream for my husband. Yes, he killed it. I asked him if they travel in twos.
Is it? There might be another one, huh?
He said no.
I know. It seems like you use. I mean, I've gotten stung in my bed twice from a scorpion, but it's because we were remodeling the house and we had opened up the walls in the bedroom. So we had a bit of a scorpion problem for a little bit, but not anymore.
And you what is it, diatomaceous earth?
Yes. I put diatomaceous earth around all of my baseboards.
All right, so let's see. Where did I see it? Dorothy Lage, this clipboard looks like desert mountains. I got to be honest, I look at this clipboard and I see coral under the sea.
Ooh, I'll take either one. Under the sea. Now that song is in my head. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. I don't know, you guys, I pieced this together, not the way that it went. I aligned it differently, but because I aligned the stem, you can't really tell. So you guys can modify your transfers to meet whatever needs your project is requiring. You don't have to use them the way that they come. And I have this little piece right here. I don't know why, I just really want to use it.
I put the link up for the paper mache course too, if anybody's interested.
Thank you. Yeah, the paper mache course. So I was scheduled, I don't know where to start the story. We'll start here. So I have signed up to compete in a pitch contest. So I have to stand, I don't have to, I'm choosing to stand before a panel and pitch Roycycled Treasures, some plans that we have for our near future for an opportunity to win money, cash money. So the pitch contest is here on Friday. Our local SBDC, Small Business Development Center, they worked really hard to squeeze us in because we weren't part of the original schedule. And so I pitch on Friday, and the paper mache course is scheduled to start on Thursday, you guys. But I did not know that we were going to have a meet and greet with the judges and the stakeholders on Thursday. So I'm going to make some changes to the class schedule. Um, I'm thinking next Wednesday, because the first night is literally like a review of all of the things we're going to use. I do a really thorough job of going over definitions and products and tools and all that. And so I'm going to have to reschedule that until next Wednesday because Thursday and Friday I'll be participating in the Arizona Moonshot. So I'm super excited because if I win the local competition, then I get to go compete at the state level for $10,000. So I'm excited and nervous at the same time. That's how I'm feeling, just like that. Um, but if you want to participate in the paper mache class, I'm going to tell y'all, I am super excited. I've been working on stuff for the class for the last few weeks, and I've been working on videos because it's going to be a combination of live instruction and also pre-recorded videos just because there's so much material. There's no way I can do it all during a live course. And so I've already started making some mushrooms, some pumpkins. I'm working on one project that I've never done before. It's actually coming out pretty good. So you guys will start seeing samples this coming up week of the things I'm working on. And if you are interested in signing up for the class, Shane, the base price for the class is only $39.99. It includes 5 live instructions. You'll have notes for the course, of course, your list of supplies, and you'll have oh yeah, and then the pre-recorded. I'm not gonna say how many pre-recorded videos because I started off saying 2, now I'm up to 4. So it just depends. But 5 live instructional classes for sure, and then 3 to 5 pre-recorded videos in addition to the live classes. If you want to upgrade to VIP, you have that opportunity. The VIPs get a workbook with the course. They also get to schedule like a group Zoom call so that we can visit live in real time, once you guys start your projects. And they get access to the course on the app. You can download an app on your phone. And the way that I have it set up for this specific course is because now I have assistants. I have a new assistant. Like if the first class is going to be on Thursday, the following Friday, the course will be chopped up into short segments and available on your app the following week. And you'll have that on your app and on your dashboard for a year as a VIP. So I always try and price my courses so that they can be accessible because I want you guys to participate. I am crazy excited. I told David, I thought I lost my mojo a little bit because I haven't done it for a while. But like, I banged out so many projects today because I don't know how many of you know this, but my business started, I was building these paper mache deer heads and I was shipping them all over the world. So this is a picture of my island. At one point I was making like 50 million. This one is my favorite one. I had to sand this puppy for an eternity to get it smooth enough for it to look good in this shiny. I think I ended up actually donating this one to 4-H for their auction. And this is another piece that I've built. So I love doing mounts, but that's not all we're going to learn. We're actually going to learn how to do other stuff too. That's why I'm making samples of other things, because I realize that not everyone is interested in making mounts. That's just a my thing.
Pam Knight asks, are you recording the whole thing if not able to attend the course live?
Absolutely. So the replays will be available. Oh, thank you, Pam. Thank you. Help us this out. So if you're signed up for the base course, you'll have access to the replays inside of the private Facebook group for 60 days. Normally I do 30 days for my courses. I extended it to 60 days because I feel like paper mache is more time intensive than a lot of the other things I've taught. So you'll have 60 days, and then if you upgrade to VIP, you'll have access for a year on your dashboard.
Let's see, who said it? Brenda Wood, what are the high temperatures in Safford? So, I'm going to scare you now.
Don't scare.
100 to 105, typically.
Yeah, typically.
However,
it's a dry heat.
this is the key. I grew up in Chicago. When it got to 80, 85, it was hot and unbearable. 90 meant go check on the neighbors to make sure that the seniors are okay. 100, somebody's dead.
Yeah.
But that's because humidity is 80 to 90%.
Yeah.
Here, humidity is 5%, maybe. And really only high out where the farms are because they're watering.
Yeah.
So that 100 sounds crazy. I can't be there, but you'd be shocked at how it doesn't feel. 90 feels cool to us.
Yes. Well, we're acclimated to.
Yeah.
But it being a dry heat does make a huge difference.
Yeah.
So on this one, I just wanted to demonstrate for you guys. Now this paper is like super busy and there's a lot going on, but you'll notice you don't see any of that through your transfer. So your transfers are completely opaque, and you can put them on top of dark paper and they'll still pop, they'll still stand out. So that was one of the things I wanted to demo. And if I wanted it to pop even more, I could take like my white pen, like my white paint pen, and I could either go around the flowers or even just go in and add some highlights, which my pen isn't working. Hold on. Sorry. I can go around, right, and I can kind of add some highlights so that my transfer stands out even more if I want it, but I wouldn't have to. So you can do things over the top to make it stand out even more. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. This is a little thicker than I wanted. I think I should probably use a thinner pen, but what were you going to say, baby?
Sherry Benhart says, I think I signed up for paper mache courses. Is there a way to check and find out?
You know what, Sherry? I'll look for you. Oh, you know what, Sherry? Thanks for asking. So, if you signed up for the paper mache course, you should have received an email almost immediately. If you have not received an email, you probably did not sign up or agree to receive emails. My system will not send you emails if you don't sign up to receive emails. This is super important, you guys, because we're going to be communicating the whole time via email. So if you don't agree to receive the emails, you're going to miss out on all kinds of information, including like if you're a VIP, we'll be emailing you your workbook. So make sure that if you have registered, if you go and log in on your dashboard and double check and make sure that you've opted in or that you've said yes to receiving emails. Super important. I'll actually be double checking that this week with everyone. And it used to be that you used to have to opt out of receiving emails, which made it easier, but now you actually have to opt in. So if you don't do that, then you won't receive any emails. So we just decoupaged over a darker paper, right? And we talked about the wave. And then sealing your transfers. You guys have options of sealing your transfers. Your transfers are made, like they're a super, super thin vinyl applique, essentially is what they are, right? And because they're vinyl, I don't think it's safe. I mean, you're gambling to use an oil-based sealer on them. And the reason why is because your oil-based sealers have, oh Lord, the word just left me because I was worried about it leaving me. You see that? I just made that happen. It didn't even have to happen. They have, what's something that dissolves? They have solvents. So oil, in order for an oil-based product to stay liquid, they have to add solvents into the product, right? And those solvents is what keeps that in a liquid form. So when you use an oil-based product over your vinyl transfer, those solvents can affect your vinyl transfer. So you want to use a water-based sealer over your transfer. I know I give you guys a whole lot of extra information. Y'all probably don't even want none. I have to know why. Like for me, you cannot just tell me something. I'll be like, okay. I'm like, well, why? So that's why I'm always telling you guys why. And I'm a nerd. I just got to know.
Sherry Benhart asked, would it be on her dashboard?
Yes, Sherry. When you logged in, it would be on your dashboard if you've already registered. Yeah, because Sherry's a retailer, so she's already has a dashboard.
Joan Volkman says, I just found out yesterday my granddaughter got a tarantula for a pet.
Oh my gosh.
I'm supposed to watch the grandkids next weekend. She better not scare me with it.
She's like, I don't know what's going to happen with that tarantula. How old is your granddaughter? I'm just curious. Because like if she's 8, she might scare you. But if she's a teenager, she probably knows better.
Cake Supply Lady, the heat and scorpions will keep me out of Arizona. I promise. It's not that bad. Like I say, I've been.
And there aren't that many. I mean, honestly, the only reason we had an issue with scorpions is literally because we were remodeling.
Yeah, there was work being done on the house.
Yeah, we tore back the walls to the studs, and so we essentially opened a way for them to come into my house.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's something that happens like all the time.
Not at all.
Unless, I mean, if you go visit somebody in like a new subdivision where they've like dug up the desert and put some new houses, they probably have a lot of problems. But essentially you don't. And the heat, the one thing I learned, I remember when I moved to San Jose, California, I was astounded that AC was listed on something that came with apartments.
Yeah, what was?
AC, air conditioning.
Oh, air conditioning, yes.
Because like here, you just assume.
Yeah, you better have it.
There's AC. Like, I don't even think it's listed on there. Everybody just assumes there's gonna be air conditioning. But it was like this optional thing in California. So it's hot here, but we're set up for the heat. So it's gonna be air conditioning everywhere you go. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it makes a difference.
I know you know this. I don't know if I ever said this on here. When I had separated from my ex-wife while we were getting a divorce, I desperately needed to save money. I just had no money. So I turned my HVAC system off for a year. And I
don't know how you did that, baby.
I went without air conditioning for a year, and I went without heat in the winter. And we don't get cold, but we can drop down into the 30s. We get a couple freezes.
We get it gets cooler here than it does.
In Havasu, it doesn't get
Phoenix.
that cold. It gets down to the 40s. And I survived.
And I survived.
It was not comfortable, but I needed the money. So, you know.
I have sheets from other transfers in here. Those don't go in there. Oh, I got everything all mixed up over here. I was thinking this one is kind of.
Is another question, Jeannie Oliver? Is that the Kajabi dashboard?
Yes, Jeannie, it's the Kajabi dashboard.
Okay. Anna Pierce asked, which of your papers is that one with the fern?
This one is called Industrial Masterboard. It's one of my favorites. Of course it is.
And we got lots of folks saying yes. Tell the whys.
Oh, okay.
The
Thank
why
you
is
guys.
good.
Well, because sometimes when somebody's telling you something, they start telling you extra stuff, you're just looking at them like, really? Like, just give me the answer. So I like explaining the why because I feel like it helps me retain information. And because I'm nosy and I want to know.
Joan's granddaughter is 9.
Oh, you might want to give them the speech, girl, because 9 years old, you know, they might be a little more playful. Look, I'm going to open a whole new pack just because I want this death moth right here. I think it's perfect for this one. Maybe. Or should I not put the death moth because he's kind of the same color, huh? Let's see.
You are at 68 minutes.
Okay. I'm doing pretty good. This is our last talking point. I did good this week, you guys. And next week, we're going to be talking about stamps and your decoupage paper. So we'll be doing some embossing. We'll be stamping. I'm super excited about that. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit the way that I set it up. Because last week, you guys got your worksheets and they said paint and decoupage paper. But we didn't really get to go over overpainting. We just talked about underpainting. And today when I was setting up, I was thinking overpainting is almost like a whole class by itself. And so I think that we're probably going to go into July, even though we said June, because I'm going to do another one for overpainting. And we'll explore some things there because with the stamps and the embossing and painting, like that's like a whole nother lesson. So we're going to do that. But next week, we're going to be talking about stamping and decoupage and how you can use those together to do certain things and then tips and tricks to make it work, right? Um, and again, these lessons are primarily based on questions that you guys ask me via messenger or during our lives. Maybe I want this guy because I'm going to do the beetle. I'm going to do the beetle because I don't want to waste
Yep,
him.
Leanne says use the beetle.
Up. Yeah.
And Colleen Kobialka, there's a snowstorm in British Columbia and Alberta.
Oh my gosh, Colleen.
Because everybody's talking about how bad it is in the South right now. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi.
I've been seeing hailstorms, let me think, in Arkansas and Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible, baby. The hail was like as big as baseballs. Bad. So if you're in those areas and you've been dealing with that, I'm sorry. Because I've just been dumbfounded by the videos I've seen from those places. And Colleen, I saw you were in front of the camera the other night, girl. I see you. I was traveling, so I couldn't really watch, but I watched a little bit.
Leanne says use the beetle. Did I tell you that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he's perfect for this one, right, you guys? I am such a weirdo, but, it is what it is.
Sonia Hansen, we picked up a great deal on a used car back in the 80s because they did not list AC in their ad. No one showed any interest.
Oh,
they had moved to Phoenix and did not realize that everyone would automatically expect it.
Yep.
I finally called them. It did have AC. My car didn't.
Oh, when I was a young woman, I had a car that didn't have AC, and I lived in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I did that.
I had it without in Havasu and then here.
Oh, I know, my poor
10 years
husband.
without AC.
And so I did a video on TikTok and I showed putting a transfer over the decoupage paper, and I got so many messages from people that are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do that. So I wanted to make sure that we go over this because a lot of us are buying the same supplies. But what I want to demonstrate is even though we're all buying the same supplies, there are so many opportunities for us to customize our pieces to fit our exact, like what we want, right? It's all about the layering and the addition. And you guys can see we underpainted this one, so we have that nice halo around the edge. And so this one is nice and grungy. I probably am not going to do anything else to this one either. I'm thinking in the other one I have to add some gold because it's purdy.
Can I ask one more question to the audience?
Sure.
So most people said they would like to have the retreat here. There were a few, but most people said here. Okay, we'll look at different times a year. We hear you about the heat.
We do.
We do. You'll survive, but we'll look at different times of year. That's fine. Can I ask how you folks feel about Mexican food? And the reason I ask is, if you live here, you're sick and tired of it.
No.
Because that's what we have.
I'm not sick and tired of it.
There's a few that you're sick and tired of.
I know, but I can eat Mechi's tacos every week.
And you could go to El Mezquite all the time.
I can.
So.
You know why I like the local Mexican food restaurants? Because they're cooking real food.
Yes.
They're not ordering some frozen thing from somewhere else and just
Correct,
warming
and
it
their
up.
family recipes. And,
Yes.
and Jesus does just a phenomenal job at Mezquite.
Yes.
So the reason I ask is because we had talked about if it's here, could we get one of those places to cater a lunch?
Yeah.
Well, when we go out, we want different. We want to go to Italian or, unfortunately, my diet kind of restricts you. But when you go out, when you went to Georgia, didn't you get a Cajun meal?
Yeah. I got a shrimp boil. I didn't get a crab boil just because I didn't want to have.
So when people travel, they want to experience different. So that's why I'm asking, how do you feel about Mexican? Is Mexican different for folks that would be coming?
I was going to say, but if people are coming here from other places.
That's why I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
So it would make sense that we would want to showcase we've got two really, really, really good Mexican restaurants.
It depends on who you are and what you like.
Yeah.
There are several options,
I
but
mean,
we
there's a lot of
definitely
people
want to
that
showcase.
like all of them. Yeah, I mean, but we've got half a dozen here.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Yeah.
But if we did catering, I would have different people
We
because
also
we
got a
could do like
Hawaiian joint.
fancy pizza. We could do quinoas. We could do. I don't know if El Mesquite. I don't know if they cater,
Yeah.
but
Who?
we could check El Mesquite.
We have to ask Jose.
I know.
Or Jesus, excuse me, not Jose. Jesus.
So let's see if we're dry enough, you guys. Let's see what'll happen if I start trying to peel this up.
Joan Volkman, I lost my power for 2 days
Oh.
when it was 90 to 95 degrees in Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's rough. That's
Oh my
humid.
gosh.
Oh, she set up a camping cot in the basement to sleep because it was 20 degrees cooler down there. Yeah, you have to. Oh,
And so this one is drying out. I can still tell there's some moisture underneath there, but my transfer is transferring. And you guys saw what happened earlier when I tried to do it when there was a lot of moisture. It was not going to participate. But now, after I've let it sit for a few minutes, I'm able to transfer my design. And so if you're ever in a situation where your transfer is not going down, it may be because there's moisture underneath. So just walk away and leave it be for a while, and let your project dry for a bit and then come back. And you'll more than likely be able to successfully transfer your design.
I have another question to ask everybody. Is Royce talking quietly?
Am I talking quietly?
Because you've gotten much quieter to me.
Oh.
So I'm struggling to hear you.
Oh,
I don't have
okay.
earphones on either. Marley Grace Creations, what top coat are you using?
I am using Wise Owl's 1 Hour Enamel Clear, but you can use whatever water-based top coat you have in your stash.
Everybody loves Mexican. Let's see. Kim Comp Rogers. Mexican's good if she has her own room. Susan Boehner, Whitmore Glazer, Tex-Mex is different than Mexican food.
It is.
100% correct. I love authentic Angie Champagne. Okay, all right. And Ann Cook, I'd be traveling for Arizona cuisine. So that's why I asked. Because
Yeah.
when we travel, we look for different. Like we went to that French place
Yes.
that we loved.
Actually, we haven't been back there. We should have went there the other day.
I know. So I can understand if somebody says, no, I want to try Nigerian or Thai or...
Oh, you're not going to find any stuff.
Yeah, but here we're Mexican based.
Yeah.
I just learned recently we were Mexico until the Gadsden purchase because below the Gila River was Mexico.
Yep.
So technically we live in old Mexico.
So there we go, you guys. So all I had to do was let that dry and I was able to transfer. And then again, you guys can see how this transfer is super bright. And even though we have a dark background, it still stands out. So just because you're using a transfer doesn't mean that you have to use a light paper or that you have to paint your furniture a light color, right? You can use it over dark colors. And I think I am like on time today. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo,
CC's
woo-hoo.
Good says Chinese is great also, but you got to get authentic Chinese, and that's tough.
Yeah.
So I have a friend. He lives in Las Vegas, and he explains Filipino. Explain to me there's Asian food
Yes.
for the public, and then there's Asian food for Asian people.
Yes.
And you don't get into the Asian food for Asian people unless an Asian person vouches for you.
Oh.
So I got to go to one once, and it is a whole different world.
Oh, I just imagine.
It was so good. You know what? Jay Murphy used to drive a cab up in Vegas, and he said eventually they let him because he was there so often.
Yeah.
So he knew what I was talking about, and
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, the food is so much better and 10 times different, and you have to.
I
So
think that's
make
probably
friends.
true. Oh man.
So make friends is all I'm saying.
I'm gonna show you. Look at you guys can live by my example. Don't do what I do. So this is a beautiful rose from one of my transfers, and I did not tape my pieces together. so my backing paper came off, and so I may have a hard time using this now. So, as a habit, if you have small pieces like this that you trimmed off of your transfers, take an extra moment and just tape them together so that your backing paper doesn't come off. Save yourself heartache. Don't be like Royce.
Let's see. Paula Takagi, 50 years in Tucson, still love Mexican food. We do. My favorite is different from Royce's favorite.
Yes.
But
Although, I don't know if it's perimenopause or what, but I can't eat spicy food anymore. It's so hot. It's so ridiculous. I think I should be able to go and like complain to somebody to fix this.
yeah,
I like my
nobody's saying
spicy
that,
food.
just because we're in Arizona, we don't love Mexican food. It's just that when you travel, when anybody travels, they want to experience.
You want to try something different.
Yeah, new and different. And so if we're the new and different for you, if you're traveling here for the retreat, cool.
And that's good.
So, but if everybody's sick and tired of Mexican food,
Yes.
then we wouldn't want to give that to you. We'd want to, treat you to something different.
So this is where we are with our 4 projects. We're going to be doing stamps next week, so I think that we'll keep going with these 4 projects, and we'll be stamping over the top of these, and then we'll probably do the giveaway next week, because the following week we're going to be doing stencils and decoupage, and that's going to be a completely different project. So we'll not raffle. What are we saying? We'll give away these boards next week. What do you guys think? Yay? No?
Yeah, because
This one
everybody
is-
last week wanted them.
I know this one is super pretty.
But
I
we
love the
need
way
them.
that one's
Oh,
come
somebody
out.
asked, can you show, I got to find it. Where did it
Oh,
go?
really quickly, while you're looking for that, so I
Yes.
talked about a water-based sealer. You can also seal your transfers with wax. So if it's your final coat, you're done, and you're not going to try to do anything over it, you can absolutely seal them with wax as well. I'm sorry, go on.
Caught me in the middle of a yawn. Becky Heron asked, could you show something about putting a finish on the clip? So maybe a future.
Yeah, we could do a future one, because you can, on my clipboards that I usually paint them something nice and grungy, because you guys know that's how I roll. But you can either put a piece of, like let's just say if I wanted to spray paint this, right? I could just put a piece of paper literally under the clip and then just spray paint it with something. You probably want to rough it up a little bit. Like this is like a 300, I think, grit sanding paper. To just add some tooth to it. And you may want to either use a spray paint that has primer in it, or prime it first. And you can paint it also, but you probably want to start with the primer first and then a paint. Oh, these are notes from my leather look course.
All right. Ann Cook says, tape a piece of freezer wrap or wax paper behind the transfer that lost its backing.
Yes,
And
I can. I'm just afraid that the adhesive on the back may be compromised.
and she asked, do you use cold wax?
Do I use whose?
Because you had talked about using a wax sealer.
Oh, I usually just use, you guys know about waxes, like DIY paint has a wax that you would use to seal like your chalk style paint. That's the wax I'm talking about.
So, all right. And what did you want to do for giveaway?
And one more thing, I'm sorry, babe.
No, you're fine.
A lot of times when if you're doing a lazy Susan or you're doing a tray, you'll want to pour resin over your projects. You can absolutely seal your transfers with resin, but you want to make sure that you go over them with a water-based clear coat first, because that's going to serve as a protective layer between the resin, which does have solvents in it, right, and your transfers. So seal them first, and I would even let them cure for a little bit, like at least a day, and then go over it with the resin. Sorry. But yes, let's do our giveaways. We have 2 items to give away today. I have a 5-pack of Roycycled decoupage papers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are they? Oh, this one does. Oh, it does have a label. No, this one doesn't have a label. I'm gonna have to put my colored printer back together. So we have a 5-pack of Roycycled decoupage papers. So since we have 2, we can do one on YouTube and one on
On the Facebook.
Facebook.
All right. So on YouTube, 1 or 2?
Well, you're asking me? One.
Yes. All right, now give me between 1 and 8.
7. I always pick the same numbers.
Vicky Moore.
Vicky Moore. Vicky, please be sure and message me your shipping information. I have a couple of prizes in my shipping room. I never got messages with shipping information, so I wasn't able to send them out. So I have this one. I don't have any paper clips in here. And this is a pretty diverse range of papers. There is the Harlequin blocks with the Harlequin, and then the dress form, and we have fairy meeting, which is the fairies by the gates. There's a bird ephemera, which is this one that's been popular for years. And then there's a flower sacks one, and these are just 2 grain sacks. It's 2 project blocks on that one. And this one is, oh Lord, one of my Roycycled retailers, help me out. This one is actually one of my favorites, but I can't think of the name right now this second. And it doesn't have a label, so I can't cheat. So there's a pretty diverse group of decoupage papers. They're not all. You have some, different styles in here. So this 5-pack will go out to Vicky Moore. Thank you for watching, Vicky. And then this one, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, this is these are notepads that I had made, and so it's just a brain dump. And so I made this for people whose brains are like mine. You'll notice there's a grid instead of lines. So you can use the lines if you want, but you don't have to, because a lot of us with squirrely brains, we like to operate outside the lines. So this one will be for, we're looking at YouTube for this one, right? Or I don't know, whichever one. You know what you're doing, babe.
All right, you tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Give me 1 to 6.
5.
Hetty Hogan.
Hattie Hogan. How am I spelling Hogan? Well, spell it out. Spell it all for me.
Hogan.
And Patty?
Patty. Patty.
Okay. Congratulations, Patty Hogan. Please be sure and message me your information. My assistant will be here tomorrow. So if you guys message me, Kayla will get this out tomorrow. If not, you'll have to wait for me to get it out. Which, my next couple of weeks are a little crazy.
Tommy Quiroz. I know. Quiros. Thank you. Sandy DeJarnay. Both asked, do you sell the brain dump pads?
I do. They're listed on my website. So they are for sale on there. Somebody asked, where do you get the clipboards? I got these from Amazon. If you put #Amazon, you'll get a link to my Amazon shop, and these clipboards are listed in there. They were really affordable, by the way. You all right over there, baby?
Well,
okay. So I guess that's it for tonight, unless you guys had any more questions. You come on 5 Pacific Standard Time. Yes, Dreaming Cat Studio. We're 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in, if you're on YouTube and you want more information about the paper mache course, I will put the link in the comment section. If you're on Facebook, David put a link earlier, but I'll put another link. If you guys are on TikTok watching, you can look at the link in my bio for information on how to become an insider, and also the link for the paper mache course. But thank you guys so much for joining this week. I'm super excited. If you're not a Roycycled insider, make sure you guys sign up. If you weren't an insider but you signed up this week, all you have to do is click the link, the button for your PDFs, and you would have gotten last week's and this week's. And so I'll do the same thing next week, so that if you're new to being an insider, you'll still get all of the worksheets. And so next week, I'll be sending out, this week, I'll be sending out another worksheet for stamps and decoupage. And then we'll be going over that during the live on next Sunday. I hope you guys like this format. I kind of like it. I think I should have been a teacher or something in some life. But thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. You guys have a blessed week. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.